And we start the news at 10 with breaking news. Former President Donald Trump says he's been indicted again.
He is the first president in American history to face federal criminal charges. Fox 5's chief legal correspondent live at the White House tonight. Katie Barlow, what's the latest?
Historic moment in our country, what former President Donald Trump calls a dark day in American history. He has been indicted by a federal grand jury in Miami. The former president announced the indictment himself on Truth Social. No word tonight from the special counsel appointed to investigate the former president, Jack Smith, or from Maine justice officials. To be clear, we have not yet seen a copy of this federal indictment, but it is likely that President Trump's lawyers have seen a copy. Fox News has confirmed that Trump is facing at least 7 federal counts related to document handling and obstruction of justice. The FBI conducted a raid on the president's Mar-a-Lago residence 10 months ago to the day. The search warrant said investigators were focused on whether Trump violated 3 laws involving the unauthorized retention and dissemination of national defense information and obstruction. Now, Trump says he is expected to make his initial appearance in federal court in Miami on Tuesday afternoon. We are looking at all angles here of what's going to happen between now and Tuesday, but special counsel Jack Smith is heading up this investigation, and a reminder that this is just one of 2 investigations that are being conducted by Jack Smith. This is the Mar-a-Lago documents case, but he is also investigating the former president related to the 2020 election and efforts to disrupt or interfere with the peaceful transfer of power on January 6th here at the Capitol in Washington, D.C. Guys?
So on top of that, we know that he made that appearance in New York City. That's a state case. All has to do with falsifying business records, the allegations, the 34 counts there. We saw how that played out. What's Tuesday going to look like?
Well, Tuesday will look quite similar. If this is, in fact, an indictment, then President Trump will appear before a federal judge in Miami with his lawyer. He will plead guilty or not guilty, and then perhaps a copy will get unsealed, so we'll all get a chance to look at what all of the charges are. The judge will walk him through the charges or ask him if he understands what he is being charged with and if his lawyer has spoken with him about that before he makes his plea in court on Tuesday. So all eyes will be on Tuesday, and that we're expecting to be Tuesday afternoon.
And we know on top of that, he's already put out on a social network that he is, quote, an innocent man. So we know we have a pretty good indication where he's going to plea on Tuesday. But how quickly does it move from this point? Because this is an election year, and he's pointed this out, and many of his opponents have pointed this out. He's the front runner, not just for the Republican Party, but depending on what you look at, against a potential rematch with President Biden.
Well, so many things about this case are, of course, unique. Not only is he the first American president to face federal charges like this, but he will be facing them as a candidate for the presidency once again while being charged under the Department of Justice of the president that is currently in office in that building behind me right there, who is also running for re-election. But my understanding is that any case that involves national security and national defense information, which these charges appear to be related to, will take some time. It takes a while to sort through a lot of that material and to have all of the players that are necessary to put forward the evidence in a trial potentially down the road would take some time. So we're heading into an election year, but this could certainly outlast that.
Well, Katie, we know a lot could happen between now and Tuesday, and smack dab in the middle of that is in the courts. You'll be summing this up as well as the other legal news of the week, 11:30 on Sunday. I know you have a lot of work to do between now and Sunday, so we'll look forward to that. Thank you, Katie.